Hello beautiful people, you are welcome back again to my YouTube channel. Compliments of the season to you. Today's video is on how to obtain your license. You could be in Canada or outside of Canada, it doesn't really matter. Kindly watch to the end, and if you are just seeing this face for the first time or just coming across this channel for the first time, do hit the subscribe button and turn on your post notification bell so that you don't miss out on my amazing videos. If you are a returning subscriber, you are appreciated as well. Let's quickly jump into today's video. In my last video, I talked about ECA, meaning Educational Credential Assessment, and I said it could be done for various purposes such as immigration purpose, schooling, for work. And in that video, I said it doesn't really guarantee you getting a job, but at least is one of the things you need to get a job. Now, talking about license. Some occupations are regulated. When I say regulated, they are like a professional job where you need license. And if you know you have the mind of immigrating to Canada, you don't need to wait to start the immigration process. You can just start trying to get a license, because one way or the other, you will still need it when you get there, except maybe you want to change your job when you get there. But if you intend working with your degree or your qualification, then you need to obtain your license. That is, if your occupation is regulated. Examples of jobs that are regulated are engineering, teaching, medicine, pharmacy, nursing, and all those jobs are regulated. So you will need licensing for those occupations. If you want to obtain your engineering license, there are 5 steps required. First, the good character, your professionalism or ethics, your academics, your language, and your work experience. When you talk about good character, you want to do a profession, you need to be in your best behavior. Like, you don't need to be fighting at your place of work. You need to be fair, you need to be caring. You have to possess all the good traits you can think of. Although it's not really possible to do that, but at least you have to possess a good amount of the positive traits or the good traits. Talking about language, depending on the province or the territory you wish to live in or to work, you need to understand the kind of language they want there. Like in Quebec, you know they are French speakers. In I think New Brunswick, they do the mixture of French and English. For work experience, you need a stipulated amount of work experience or working years in that engineering job, for you to be able to obtain your license. Talking about your academics, you need to have an engineering degree in a Canadian Engineering Accreditation Board, or you have the equivalent qualification. That is when you talk about the ECA. The last but not the least is the professionalism. So you doing exam depends on the regulatory body. So that's all for that. A lot of people might be saying, can't I just go to Canada without my license and work? The truth is, when you are a licensed engineer, it makes you more professional. Then it's an achievement as well. And it's also required by the law. Before you call yourself an engineer, at least you should be an EIT, that is engineering training. You can't just obtain only degree and you call yourself an engineer. Although you can be practicing under a professional engineer, but then you need to have obtained the academic requirements, so that it is work experience you are now trying to obtain for you to now become a professional engineer, that is after writing the exams and meeting some requirements. Before I go further, I think I should explain what a licensure is, what license is, what licensee is. When you talk about licensure, it is the granting of engineering license. When you talk about license, it is the permission to have something. It's not like I'm explaining English. The way you not think about licensee is someone that is licensed to practice engineering in Canada. Although the person may not be a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident. So if you are not a Canadian citizen or if you are not a permanent resident and you have your license, then you are a licensee. I just felt I should just give the different meanings for these terminologies. So let's continue. Some people may have this engineering license in a particular province and they intend moving to another province. There is what we call mobility across Canada. That way, it also depends on the engineering regulatory body of that province or territory. So you will have to apply for licensure again and you have to make payments. Again, if you have gotten your license, you will be paying your dues every year. Like currently we pay our dues every year so that you don't lose your license. The next question now is how to apply for your engineering license. First and foremost, try to know where you want to live or you intend to stay. When you know the province or the territory, then you need to go and check the requirements for the licensing. So after establishing that, your qualifications or your degrees will be assessed. Like I said before, it is at the discretion of the regulatory body. They will decide if you will write an exam or not. In case you don't also know the difference between an EIT, MIT and GIT. MIT actually means members in training or member in training, while EIT is engineer in training and GIT is geoscientist in training. For example, in Saskatchewan, the body responsible for license is APEX. The full meaning of APEX is Association of Professional Engineers and Geoscientists in Saskatchewan. So MIT is more like the combination of EIT and GIT. But because the aim of this video is EIT, which is Engineer in Training, that is why I'm making mention of EIT. So meaning the same way you obtain your EIT, that is how you obtain your GIT. That's just it. Engineer in Training, Geoscientist in Training. I hope that makes sense. In order to get your teacher's license in Saskatchewan, you first of all complete your 4 years degree. That is your educational background. You need to complete your 4 years course. Then second, you need to have your coursework done and it should align with that of the SPTRB. I'll leave the meaning on the screen. The TCC is also required as well. So those are the major things you need if you want to obtain your license for teaching in Saskatchewan. It also still differs for different provinces and it depends on the bodies regulating it in Canada. There are steps you can take to apply for your license, which I'll be listing in my next slide. I'll also be leaving the link to how you can apply for it in the description box as well. In my last video, I said those in the medical line have a different body that evaluates their credentials. If you are a doctor, if you are a GP, then you will get your credentials assessed by MCC, Medical Council of Canada. So this body evaluates the physicians in Canada, but they don't give license. The license is totally dependent on the province you are in. So they're the ones that would guide you on how to get your license for your medical profession. When your results or your degree or your qualifications have been assessed by MCC, then you will now be given LMCC. LMCC is not a license for you to practice. It's just a Canadian standard that is one of the requirements you need in order to apply for full practice of medicine in that province. So as a medical doctor, you need to also understand what the province needs for you to be able to obtain your license. When the candidate has met with the requirements set by the MRA, then you can now submit an application for the medical registration. So when you submit your application and it is considered, that is when you can now be given your license with which you can now practice. In addition, if you're a pharmacist, first of all, you need to pass your document evaluation. Then again, you need to write exams. You're going to be writing 2 exams, the first and the second one. Then after you've passed it, then you can now apply for your license. So that's for the pharmacist in a nutshell. I hope this video has been helpful. Kindly share this video, like the video, comment on it. If you have any questions or suggestions or corrections, don't hesitate to leave them in the comment section. I'll be there to reply. See you in my next one, and bye.